Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Have you been celebrating the discipline of skipping meals, only to watch your hairline retreat and wonder if the very routine meant to sharpen your metabolism is quietly shutting down your regeneration? Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and together with Ilara Sky, we're examining fresh evidence showing how intermittent fasting can flood your follicles with toxic fat.
The core finding is stark. When you fast, usable glucose drops, and your body compensates by breaking down stored fat through lipolysis. That process dumps free fatty acids into your bloodstream. Hair follicle stem cells thrive on glucose, so forcing them to burn fat generates oxidative stress that locks them in dormancy.
You might picture fasting as selective fat trimming, yet data reveal that for every pound of fat you drop, you can surrender up to 2 pounds of muscle. Muscle is a vital glucose reservoir, so losing it deepens the shortage that stresses your follicles and accelerates shedding.
Researchers tested 2 common fasting routines: alternate day fasting and the daily 16-hour fast. In mice, both stalled hair regrowth even when calories matched control diets. A companion human trial shaved scalp patches and saw noticeably slower regrowth in participants who fasted, proving the fast feed rhythm itself is harmful.
Damage surfaced within weeks, not years. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis fires immediately, spiking cortisol and adrenaline and trapping your physiology in survival mode. Those stress hormones prime dermal fat to release even more fatty acids around your scalp.
Under high-resolution imaging, fasted follicles show mitochondria with leaky walls, distorted shapes, and plummeting ATP output. Oxidative byproducts accumulate and trigger programmed cell death in hair stem cells. Instead of resilience, repeated fasting steadily depletes the very pool needed for regeneration.
Proof of causation came when scientists blocked fatty acid oxidation inside the stem cells. Fasting no longer killed them. In contrast, adding free fatty acids without fasting still triggered cell death. The toxin is the fuel switch, not calorie scarcity or time of day.
Beyond hair, fasting-driven fatty acids stress your liver and kidneys even in healthy people. Oxidative fragments spur fibrosis, scar-like tissue, that undermines organ performance. If you're fasting for a cleanse, you may actually be polluting your system from the inside out.
Your hair acts as an early warning light. Rapid shedding, slowed growth, or thinning strands signal chronic energy deficit. Rather than blaming age, genetics, or shampoo, recognize the metabolic stress message your follicles are sending.
Each follicle cycles between anagen, the growth phase, and telogen, the resting phase. Intermittent fasting traps follicles in telogen by depriving stem cells of glucose. The longer that trap persists, the greater the risk of permanent miniaturization and visible thinning.
Autophagy often gets praised as a fasting benefit, yet these studies show it doesn't rescue hair stem cells. Oxidative stress outpaces cleanup, pushing cells towards self-destruction. Longevity requires repair capacity, not unrelenting metabolic strain.
Another misconception is the idea of a clean burn. Free fatty acids aren't clean. They're unstable. When oxidized, they form reactive aldehydes that stick to proteins and DNA, hindering normal cellular work. Your scalp is especially vulnerable because of its dense blood supply.
Muscle loss compounds the problem. With fewer muscle stores, glycogen dwindles, resting metabolic rate drops, and antioxidant defenses weaken. Each subsequent fast causes a bigger oxidative burst, deepening the spiral that sabotages hair vitality.
Step 1 for recovery is to suspend long-term intermittent fasting and stabilize eating frequency. Consume nutrient-dense meals every 3 to 4 hours, starting with breakfast, to reassure your body that energy is reliably incoming.
Step 2 is to make digestible carbohydrates your primary fuel. Begin with white rice, ripe fruit, and well-cooked root vegetables such as sweet potatoes or carrots. Delay raw greens, whole grains, and beans until digestion feels calm and predictable.
Step 3 is quantity. Aim for roughly 250 grams of carbohydrates daily, more if you're physically active or recovering from stress. Glucose spares muscle protein, blunts cortisol, and lets hair stem cells exit dormancy and re-enter anagen.
Step 4 is near-infrared light therapy. Sessions in a zero EMF near-infrared sauna stimulate mitochondria to release nitric oxide and boost ATP production, supporting DNA repair inside follicles and accelerating the shift back to growth.
Step 5 is micronutrient vigilance. Deficiencies in vitamin D, B12, or vitamin A can intensify shedding. If hair loss continues after dietary changes, collaborate with a holistic physician, order a full blood panel, and correct gaps through food or targeted supplementation.
Let's make the plan concrete. Within 30 minutes of waking, eat a bowl of white rice topped with sliced banana and a drizzle of raw honey. 3 hours later, enjoy a baked sweet potato with a side of fruit. Notice how energy remains steady compared with a skipped breakfast.
Midday, choose grass-fed beef or pastured eggs paired with cooked carrots and fresh fruit. A mid-afternoon snack of rice cakes and applesauce keeps glucose stable until dinner.
Dinner completes the day with another serving of rice, roasted root vegetables, and a portion of wild-caught fish, followed by easily digested fruit. This pattern supplies continuous glucose and essential amino acids without the roller coaster of fasting.
Many people fast hoping to extend lifespan, yet the studies we reviewed show chronic fatty acid exposure erodes regenerative capacity. True longevity thrives when cells can repair. Starving them of glucose undermines that repair machinery.
Mechanistically, free fatty acids clog the mitochondrial respiratory chain, leading to superoxide formation. Superoxide damages lipids, proteins, and DNA, raising oxidative markers like malondialdehyde that correlate with accelerated aging of skin and scalp.
Organ stress isn't hypothetical. Elevated free fatty acids correspond with rises in liver enzymes and early kidney fibrosis, even in metabolically fit volunteers. The trade-off is clear: short-term weight loss versus cumulative cellular strain.
Listeners often ask whether fasting-related hair loss is reversible. Research suggests it usually is if you act early. Restore regular feeding and adequate carbohydrates, and stem cells often revive. Delay too long, and permanent follicle loss becomes more likely.
Another frequent question concerns carbohydrate targets. Evidence points to at least 250 grams per day for most adults, with higher amounts needed when you train hard, recover from illness, or unwind chronic stress. Meeting that threshold keeps ATP production high and cortisol moderate.
A final query is, why does fasting hurt hair if total calories are adequate? The answer is timing. Hair stem cells require continuous glucose. Intermittent deprivation flips their metabolism to fat, which generates reactive oxygen species and signals apoptosis.
Clinical slides make the point vivid. Non-fasters exhibited uniform regrowth, while fasters showed patchy, delayed return and depleted stem cell pools. Follicles stayed locked in telogen instead of cycling back to growth.
Your practical challenge this week is deliberate fuel stabilization. Craft 3 balanced meals and 2 carbohydrate-rich snacks, spaced no more than 4 hours apart. Emphasize white rice, fruit, and cooked root vegetables. Track daily energy, mood, and hair shedding in a simple journal.
Commit to that rhythm for 7 consecutive days. Expect steadier energy, calmer mood, and fewer hairs on your brush. Those observations confirm your follicles, recognize safety, and are preparing for growth.
Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.